How's it going, YouTube land? This is Blood Will Tell. It's a game on the PlayStation 2 entertainment console that I've wanted to do for a long time. So here's the backstory on this game. It's a game that I bought at GameStop when I worked there, like, literally over 12, 13, maybe 15 years ago. I mean, I didn't work there at the time, but I definitely bought it that long ago. It was just some random game that I thought looked cool. I bought it for, whatever, 20 bucks, whatever it was, and now it is pretty rare. I would say it's right up there with Rule of Rose and Haunting Ground. Not quite Rule of Rose level, but it's like a 200, 250 buck game, and it's, if you look at it right now as we're posting, you know, as we're doing this, excuse me, there's like 3 or 4 copies on eBay, so it's like pretty rare.
And here's the thing, unlike Kuon or Rule of Rose, which is a bit more expensive, this game rocks. Now, I haven't played it since basically Spencer bought it probably 10 years ago or more. But this game is cool. It has a cool gimmick. I don't remember it being like especially deep, but has a cool premise, has a very good atmosphere and a cool story, and the main character is very interesting. I mean, obviously you can look at him, he has 2 swords for his arms. What's the deal with that?
So I'm not going to explain anything as far as the story is concerned right now, because the way this game goes is you start off knowing nothing, and then it starts to explain stuff, so I'm going to let the game just kind of standardly do that. Also this noise. Oh yeah.
Now for battle practice. The light attack and the triangle button does not.
That's me.
You're a quick learner.
Thanks.
Now, I will show you a very special technique. Press and hold the triangle button.
Kame.
When your sword flashes, let go of the triangle button. Attack the enemy using that technique. Then press the buttons.
I will, Senpai. Ah, dang it. I literally messed that up. Speedrun over.
When your sword flashes,
I didn't even have to go that fast. I just wanted to try to stunt on this enemy.
Using that technique.
I will.
Then press the buttons as they appear on the screen.
That was just a tutorial.
Once the enemy's health has been depleted, press the triangle button.
Yeah. Nothing personal, kid.
Very well done, Yakimaru. Try to get as many slashes as you can.
I will say, the one thing I will say is this is the story of someone who lost 48 body parts, and we'll leave it at that for now because they will be explaining the story in actually pretty great detail and cutscenes in the next like 15-20 minutes. I like this attack. It takes a lot, but it's really hard to
performed a spirit attack.
It's really hard to control.
You will be able to learn more spirit attacks by finding spirit scrolls.
I love that one.
Change weapons. See how the weapon in your hand.
So obviously this game is like pretty rare, at least in America. I don't know if it's sold well in Japan, but obviously it's a very
Japanese game.
It probably had like no budget at all for advertising or anything in this country.
And
how to use the weapons I've built into your body. Your right arm.
So you have a machine gun in your arm because, like I said,
Impressive, isn't it? I call it the repeater arm cannon.
You have 48 body parts missing, and essentially, I don't want to go like I'll just. You're a cool cyborg. Let's say that for now. In 15 minutes, you'll find out more about the story. I have a feeling this is also one of those games that doesn't have like a million like videos on YouTube. Like, that it's not one that, like, everyone knows about.
Yeah, like, this is the definition of a cult classic, but it's definitely not one of those cult classics where like, everyone says it is, but it's super popular. Like, a lot of people haven't heard of this game. But this is definitely, like, a hidden gem, as Reddit likes to call it.
Hidden gem Reddit? Thanks, Reddit. So as far as the action is concerned in this game, it's definitely not DMC level in terms of like its smoothness. There's no technical lock-on, so I hold L1 and I can kind of strafe in place, but it's not a technical lock-on.
Yeah.
Bosses, it technically is a lock-on because there's a boss camera, but it's not bad by any means, but it's not like really honed like
Yeah,
DMC.
so how would like rank it is like on the bottom would be like Baldur's Gate, like push X and you do an attack and that's all you do. And then right above it is like God of War, which is mostly flashy, but it's like combos don't really matter and everything's super basic. Then I would put this game a little bit above God of War, and then after that, like on the very high tiers, like Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry and stuff.
You really think you can kill me?
Yeah. So, yeah, in terms of, there will be times where I'll look bad because I'm just kind of bad at the game. I just started playing it for the first time today.
Parts the fiends stole from me.
It's also kind of like a little, it's like a mixture of almost, I almost get a Kuon feel in terms of all the Japanese stuff, with the exception of it's not a horror game and it's not bad.
Yeah, it has like a horror. It's sort of like Shadow Hearts, where it has a very like horror atmosphere, but it's not a horror game.
And I also get a Shadow of the Colossus feel, simply because there's 48 body parts, and spoilers, every boss you kill gives you a body part, so... You know, there's 48 bosses.
You're doing the opposite of Shadow Colossus, where you start like normal and you're slowly killing yourself, but this one is like you're repairing yourself.
So one of the things I remembered when I got to the end of chapter 1 today, which probably is where we're gonna end today. Although I could go farther if we blow through it. I'm also like I can pass by all these enemies, but I'm not, because you do get levels up on your swords and stuff, which is really cool. That's another thing that I really like about this game is like there's a really, really, even as far as I am right now, cool sense of like leveling and getting stronger. So obviously the game even said it, I think, on the very first screen, that nothing's wrong with your TV or your PlayStation because the game's in black and white. That'll be explained in a little bit. But...
Oh, yeah!
Rip. So there'll be times where you get to these, like... I guess you could call them, like mini stages or whatever. So like we're in this new area and it's like, all right, kill all the enemies. Of course it's going to be easy to start off with. The whole first chapter is pretty easy, and then the second chapter like gets pretty hard pretty fast.
Yeah, I remember this game not being the easiest.
Oh, one thing to go through real quick is they have a combo thing where it'll tell you, like, depending on what you're using, like all these different combos you can do, like press square up to 5 times at this point. You know, and each one is unique. So square triangle is that, square triangle is that. That's square triangle. And then that's square triangle. Yeah. And then of course you can do just triangle, which is pretty much just that. You can do that move, which I don't want to do, because the thing about that one is you only want to do it when there's only one enemy around, because another enemy could come by and just, you know, kind of break your combo, almost like in a DMC kind of thing. Devil May Cry kind of thing. So far, for me going through it, I'm really enjoying it. I have a feeling it's a longer game than I remember it being.
Smells like...
Oh, I remember this game being pretty long. We'll probably be here for a while.
Yeah, this will be a pretty... I mean, obviously today we have a little bit longer than normal, but this will definitely be one of those. And it's also one of those games where I don't feel... Like, unless I specifically get to an area and I'm like, okay, I have to... I'm going to save just to create my new file. These are the save points right here. Unless I get to the point where I'm like, man, I really need to, like, level up. I don't think there's anything I really want to, like, skip, at least so far. Like, this game does a pretty good job of, like, switching between, like, gameplay and then story. Pretty heavy on the story to begin with. Like, I literally walk forward and then have to fight someone. But, it's also literally, like, a prologue. Like, it's not even Chapter 1 yet. So this is the first boss. They're called fiends, so there's 48 fiends, and essentially what they're doing is, that's obviously like sucking in souls. Essentially they're pretty bad guys. They
I finally found one. These fiends live off the sorrow and despair of humans.
Exactly what I was actually trying to say.
Take back my body.
And it's not your speakers. His voice sounds weird, and that will be explained in like a little bit. Great Horn, level 1. So this is essentially saying there's a boss camera, which I can turn off, but I choose to have that on. So like already the very first boss in the game, like however far I am, you know, 5 minutes in the game, they have three boss meters. So it's blue to yellow to red. So it's already like 1 second in. This game is not taking no BS.
Oh, wow. I was about to say, handgun bullets probably don't do that much damage, but pretty decent. Actually.
Yeah, they do decent, especially for how, like, safe they are.
In DMC, your handguns do nothing.
So essentially, at least early on, what you want to do is just save up for that, because it's pretty good-o. I'm gonna try to save some, especially since I'm in no danger, really, of dying. I'm trying to save some, most of the arm cannon stuff, or most of the, no, I pressed the wrong, oops. Still kind of getting used to this. I try to use, like, maybe one of these per boss, because this is definitely pretty good move. But yeah, we should have no problems here. Yeah, in fact, there we go. Alright. So, certain attacks clearly take more.
What's happening?
Where'd I put my sody pop? There we go. Thanks, Titus.
My voice. It's my own voice. I got my voice back.
So yeah, that's why he sounded kind of like a robot. So his first body part is his vocal cords. This is a really cool part of the game. Every time you get something, you get, like, you know, it's almost like that's how you level up. Even though you can also level up your swords and stuff. I will say that not every fiend you get is going to give you, like, a very specific thing. Like this, now he can talk normal. You know, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, this gives you a level up, essentially.
Here's your pancreas
But
back.
for big enemies, it does stuff. So I'm going to be quiet while it goes through this, then.
The people cried to the heavens, their hearts full of despair. Unbeknownst to them, the world was at the mercy of a group of vile demons known as fiends. One day, a terrible omen appeared in the sky. When morning came, not one, but 2 suns rose in the east. However, while one sun shined more brightly than ever, the other gave off a dull, black light, as if it were but a shadow of the real sun. It seemed as though the gods of the heavens could no longer bear to witness the troubled times on earth, and parted ways with the gods of darkness. The gods of darkness, the fiends, looked upon this omen with fear.
I thought this was the big story dump one. It's not. This is more of like the backstory kind of thing.
The birth of a human that would have the power to end their dark rule.
Oh no, it is. It is. Okay.
However, the fiends could not destroy this child of light themselves.
It's Laura
They
Parson.
discovered, however, they could corrupt the child's birth parents. The fiends approached Kagemitsu Daigo, a local samurai, and the future father of the child of light, and enticed him with promises of power. One night, in his dreams, Kagemitsu Daigo
Wait,
saw
so if he was the
vision.
future father, why
In
didn't they
this
just
vision,
kill
He was
Kagemitsu?
told that he would be given the power to bring order to this chaotic world.
Oh, no.
Daigo, thinking that he had received a vision from the heavens, gathered all his courage and ventured to the temple called the Gates of Hell alone. As Daigo stood there, surrounded by the possessed statues of the 48 fiends, he was told that the price of his power would be his firstborn child. The sudden demand threw Daigo into a panic. Heightened by the echoing laughter of the fiends, His mind
Maybe
began
at that
to
point the
twist,
fiends didn't have like
and
physical
Daigo's
bodies to
reason
be in Earth.
and judgment
Yeah.
Because
failed
you
him
have
at
all the
last.
statues here.
He signed the contract. A few days later, Daigo's child was born. This was much to the surprise of Daigo himself, as he had expected the fiends would lay claim to his child. Daigo dared to allow himself to feel a moment of joy and relief, but that moment proved to be short.
So the main characters had a hard life.
Shadows gathered over the newborn, wrapping themselves around its tiny body. A voice sounded from within the shadows. The body of your son now belongs to the 48 fiends. As promised, you shall be granted the power to bring order to this pitiful world. You shall never know defeat in battle from this day forth. Your path to victory shall be littered with the corpses of
And that's the best
those
part for the
who
fiends, because they're like, we just like death and destruction. So this guy's like,
48
cool.
parts of the infant's body had been stolen by the fiends. Seeing what happened to his son, Daigo let out a blood-curdling scream in anguish. Suddenly, Daigo sprang into action. He snatched up the infant in his arms, jumped atop his trusty steed Midoro. His wife desperately tried to stop him, but Daigo shrugged her off and made his way toward the river.
Count of Kino, huh? Pretty cool for a game with, like, I don't think a big budget. Like, it couldn't have possibly been. So...
This is what you would refer to as a single A or a double A game.
maybe 1.5.
1.5.
Alright, so that I thought that was the big story dump. It's not. I forget this guy's name, unfortunately. Like I said, I just started playing today, and I wasn't super paying attention to the story. But he had a hard life, and we'll find out more about that. No! Help me! I don't want to die!
Oh yeah, this kid.
Yeah. Like, the second main character. Literally, nothing personal. Alright, so... defeat 8 enemies, I think. Yep. Get out of here. One of the things that is kind of unfair is you saw all those enemies fall in almost like a comet. A lot of times when you're just going through, like, levels, they'll just, like, fall, like, right on top of you, and you're like, okay. And, like, it actually does damage, like, if they, like, land on you, and you're like, what? But yeah, but like I said, the action is, like, definitely better than your standard, like, beat 'em up for sure.
And obviously, just like most games like this, it gets more complicated.
Definitely gets more complicated
as time goes on.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I killed all the demons. My arm? It's fake. Let's not go telling everyone about this, okay?
Hi.
Why are you following me?
That sword in your arm. I bet it was forged by a master swordsmith.
I don't know. Maybe it was. It works good enough for me.
I thought so. You mind if I take it?
No, go ahead.
Take it? You? Don't make me laugh.
It's only
I
the
am
thing I
world
need to,
famous
like,
thief,
survive.
Dororo. Come rain or shine. Once I set my eyes on a treasure, it's mine.
I don't think you get it. This thing is attached to my arm. It's a part of me.
You can't get rid of me that easily. I will get that sword.
Are you stupid? Staying near me is certain death. You saw them, didn't you? I'm haunted by ghosts and demons.
The voice acting is also, like, better than expected. It's really not bad.
The world famous thief
Especially
is
during,
afraid
like,
of
the
nothing.
early to
Thief or
mid
not,
2000s,
don't follow
and
me.
voice acting was terrible. Like, it's passable for sure.
So, just like every other game, when you tell someone not to follow you, they, of course, follow you. And then just... like, and there's, like, literally no other explanation. Like, you're just like, alright, well, whatever. Alright, so we're continuing on our way. I think we're actually mostly done with the prologue. I'm gonna fight every enemy that I can just to get
Sword.
Yeah, so you find swords, but at least so far in the game, I find that I just use my sword arms. Because the thing is, swords level up too, but you get them so often that, like...
Oh, do they break?
I don't think they break, you just get, like, better ones. Yeah, but I'm like, well, if I just keep with the sword arms... And to be fair, the sword arms start out weaker than any sword you get, but, like, you can... If you stay with it, you can make them real strong. So if you notice that blue bar up at the top left, that's full right now, and obviously I'm going to save that for the boss in, like, 5 seconds. And that's a nice way to generally start out the boss fight.
Wow, who's seen this coming?
So this boss is based off me, too. Especially all the stink coming off of him. It's, reminds me of me.
Yep.
Homunculus, which is an actual word, but I forget what it means.
It just means, like, artificial human.
Ah. See, do you see how, like, I did not want to move at all there, but, like, you move automatically doing that move?
Yeah, it does a ton of damage, but it looks pretty weird.
Thanks for your help. I'll cover your back.
Thanks, kid.
Nothing personal.
I'm sure you're gonna punch him or something.
Oh, we'll see a little of that. So he's too small for me to do a lot of the fun moves, unfortunately.
Oh, he literally just called it Dororo Punch.
She has Dororo Punch and Dororo Kick. So, but
Dude, that guy just headbutted you.
Unfortunately, this is after Captain Falcon in Smash Brothers, so... I also try to use swords as often as I can just because they level up.
Yeah, it's weird that your left arm is...
It's always more. Every time I've played this so far, it like levels more. Hey, Dororo, can you do anything? And like sometimes I feel like attacks take more. Like I don't know if there's like critical hits, but right there it just took like...
I definitely remember that there's... you saw how like it shined really brightly. I kind of remember that enemies have weak spots.
Makes sense.
My eye!
Fancy.
This is half of the PS2 disc. So, I don't know if they explained this specifically, but...
See the world in full color.
The reason it was black and white is because he had no eyes and he's technically blind, but he had like...
It says new ability, see the world in full color.
Yeah. So he literally did not see. It was like his mind's eye, aka like a telepathy kind of thing. So he was like technically blind, and now he can actually see. And this is just like already you're seeing like the general feel of like how you get stronger and cooler as it goes on.
Too bad now he has no depth perception.
I can see through my left eye.
I think I would take seeing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Dororo.
blind
Dororo.
You're Dororo.
One eye, definitely
Your
one
voice
eye.
is a little annoying, but you're a cuter kid than I thought.
Hey, is that your eye?
Go ahead, pick it up.
I say that too.
Go pick up my gross eye, bro.
It's a fake eye.
You scared? I don't blame you. When I was a baby, I was found
Here's the
floating
dump.
in the river, in a barrel.
Having returned from his studies in China, the physician Jukai had been gathering herbs near the river. To his surprise, he came upon a barrel floating by, carrying in it a tiny infant.
Imagine the
Perhaps it was
state
his
of
medical
this
training
human.
that urged him to save the child.
Yeah, like,
Or perhaps it was human instinct. But Jukai did not
No
hesitate
eyes,
but for
no
a second before he
throat.
rescued the child from the barrel.
anything.
No
Yet
arms,
upon
no
examining the
legs.
Probably just
child,
alive
he was
because
at
it's
a
a
loss
child
for
of
words,
prophecy.
for he did not know any medicines that could help this cursed infant. However, as Jukai fed the child, he watched the infant sip at its porridge. He felt its burning desire to live and decided to raise the child as his own.
Peaceful.
One day, a strange voice buzzed in Jukai's ear. "Feed me. Feed me," the voice pleaded. He looked around in search of the source of the voice. The infant was staring straight at him with its empty
Oh
eyes.
gosh.
"Could it be?" he said aloud. "Were you the one speaking to me?" "Yes," the voice echoed in his mind. Jukai realized that the child could speak directly to his mind. From that day forward, Jukai communicated with the child telepathically and taught him everything he needed to know about living in this cruel world. When
Yeah.
the child turned 3, Jukai made a decision. He decided to operate on the child. He would use all his medical knowledge to give the child everything he was missing. Arms.
Oh my god,
legs,
no nose, no
eyes,
ears.
nose,
It's like a Mr.
ears,
Potato Head. You know what I mean?
everything
But
that
like
the
without
child
anything
lacked.
on it.
He began the operation.
Good lord.
After many, many hours, a miracle happened. At the end of the surgery, when the anesthetics had worn off, the child opened his eyes. And for the first time, the child had a complete body. And he had a name. Hyakimaru. Within a month after the surgery, Hyakimaru began to learn to use his new body. He sat up, moved his legs, and took his first steps. He stumbled many times, but every time he picked himself back up and tried again.
So Hyakimaru is
The
like
pain was
Goku
nearly
times 20.
unbearable, and every day he worked himself to the point of nearly collapsing. Soon Hyakimaru was able to run about as free as any child. When Hyakimaru turned 6, Jukai had been watching him run and play like any child would. Despite the fact that he could not see, he knew at that moment that with such wondrous gifts, a strange and fantastic destiny would surely be awaiting Hyakimaru.
By the way, what an awesome name.
As Hyakimaru grew older, strange things began to occur. Demons began to appear all around them, watching their every move. When Hyakimaru turned 18, he visited a local temple. While praying, a voice spoke to him from the heavens. "The 48 fiends have each taken a part of your body, young Hyakimaru.
Pretty
You
decent
must
graphics
slay
too with
these
whatever they were doing
fiends
there.
and retrieve what is rightfully yours. However, the fiends have also created a human out of your body parts. Slay the fiends, or their human creation, and you shall become whole once again." Hyakimaru, sensing the seriousness of the situation, sat down to speak with Jukai. Hyakimaru knew that the fiends were after him.
So that means
He
that
knew it was
like
because of his special powers
as
that the demons
Hyakimaru got
wanted him
bigger,
dead.
his
Even
dad
though
just had
he
to keep
artificial
like
limbs,
Yeah,
he
I was
could
about to
not
mention
see
something
nor
like that.
hear.
I'm sure you're
He
not
could
really
see
supposed to
things
think
with
about
some
it.
sort
I
of
just thought about
innate
that.
sixth sense.
That like, oh, here's your
He
new
knew that the
artificial
fiends
limbs.
considered him
Like
Ten,
every
so
year.
let's make
and
a
would do
10-year-old
anything to
body.
get rid
Yeah,
of him.
it
Obviously,
is what it is. It's still a really cool story. I actually did not think about that till like
Seek out
right
the
now.
fiends and destroy them.
And obviously
To
it
help
sets
him accomplish
you
this,
to love
Jukai
the main
decided to
character,
perform
you know,
one final
because he like
operation
survived
on
all that
Hyakimaru.
stuff.
He fitted Hyakimaru's body with various powerful weapons.
Based.
As Hyakimaru prepared to set off on his quest, Jukai warned Hyakimaru of the dangers he was sure to face. He explained that fiends lived off of human suffering and grief. He told Yakimaru that if he encountered any peoples burdened with inexplicable pain or suffering, chances
And it's
are
very
he would
based
find
off
the
of
fiend
like what I
nearby.
assume to be like, this could be like literally like a Japanese folklore, like just straight up. You know what I mean? Like word for word, and I would believe it. You know, it's very based off of like.
Yeah, usually these
Folklores.
stories are based off of something specific. Japanese old culture is very specific, and they love it a lot.
All right, so that's done with the prologue. So now we're heading to chapter 1. There's story, of course, but I don't think there's any more like information dumps. At least in the beginning. At least from where I've gotten to so far, I'll say. Pretty cool. Each area is like a little disjointed. It's not like a God of War where like you're constantly like moving like, you know, between. But it's like each chapter is like its own separate, almost like not game necessarily, but they are separate. And they like have their like obviously own contained stories. So like chapter 1, the whole story takes place in chapter 1 for this.
Yucky. Yucky.
And this is me.
Pretty scary.
The monster design in this game is awesome. Again, a lot of it could be based off of Japanese folklore for all I know. But
You can guarantee that like everything is based off something. Like the concept of yokai and like demons.
You want some? You want some?
If it's free, I'll take it.
Bamboo thicket. Just ahead. So shiny.
there's also a lot of like flash cuts in this game, which I appreciate.
Did you see that creep last night?
Yeah. You looked so scared. I thought you'd start crying.
Like, I like how this, like,
You think
ridiculous
I'm scared
monster
of that
comes
freak?
up to them,
I get my
and they don't,
hands
like,
on
wake
it
up
when
to
they
be
cry.
like, while it's still night, like, what was that? You know what I mean? Just like, nah. They, like, instantly go back to sleep.
We should go check it out.
Okay. So, yeah, this is, like I said, this is, decently long. We'll probably just do this for the day. I don't know in reality how long it actually is, because I was just kind of, you know, messing around. So, Dororo has different things she can do. I set it to just picking up items, at least at first. I don't really need her help in fighting things, but it's nice if, like, she finds, like, random, like, trinkets, like those she'll go straight for. I don't know what those things are yet, necessarily, but she picks them up. I'm sure it's some sort of, like a currency or something like that.
Those green things? Is that just health? Oh no, it's not. 'Cause
No, health looks like rice balls. So yeah, at least for a little bit, I'm going to be just fight. I don't want to say every enemy, but like a decent amount. So I'm
if
not.
they're directly in your way, yeah.
And like you level pretty fast, which is nice. And also, it's not like terribly long or annoying.
Like, even looking at these designs for the demons, those red guys are Onis, which is pretty obvious. They have the horn in the head and they're lower level demons. The turtle things are probably Kappas. That's a very Japanese spirit thing. Yokai. I could be wrong about that, but I'm gonna guess they're yokai.
They remind me of the FF7, the FF7 enemies that, like the turtle enemies. But yeah, if you see anything specific, let me know, because I do not know much about Japanese folklore except for like it's very, you know, loved and, you know, respected and all. That's all I really, unfortunately, know.
If you want a history lesson on it, like Japanese spirits, you should play Yokai Watch. I never played that, but that is every single design is based off a folklore.
Wow. Oh, I don't know. I guess. No, I just saved. Those are really I don't know what those things are. They're like kind of enemies.
Mud people.
Yeah, like that first person.
Can you also level up your guns?
I don't think so. But I think they just level up when you get like attack levels up.
Yeah.
But yeah, my plan is not really to use any other swords just because I want to get this strong. So like right there, I just ran past everything and she picked up whatever those things are, which is nice. Oh, you're not dead, son. Yeah. And I don't know, I assume it's not necessarily that you killed enemies that as you level up your swords, I assume it's just like the amount of hits. But
I wonder if this
yeah, I'm curious to know as well, because the game itself is like very like it's not like ultra like I find like even the original Devil May Cry I find to be what I would consider to be like ultra polished, but at the same time the original Devil May Cry is like much shorter than this game. I mean,
apparently the Japanese name for this game is literally just called Dororo, and that's it.
Oh wow.
And I think the actual title of this game is called Blood Will Tell Tezuka Asumu's Dororo.
Yeah, and I don't know what that means. Obviously. Alright, so we're just heading on. We're heading to the village real quick, and then a lot of stuff is gonna happen in the village.
This is based off a manga? That's
wow.
Cool.
Yeah, right now, while there's really not a lot going on, I don't have to use like any like special stuff. I can save a lot of my stuff.
You know what game they also did? The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang.
Oh my god.
The most other obscure SNES game in the world that is actually awesome.
So, like, did this team, like, literally not make a lot kind of thing?
Apparently they still make games occasionally, like they made as recently as Fossil Fighters Frontier for the 3DS.
Okay.
They made the Gungrave games on PS2. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but they made Thousand Arms for PS1.
PS1,
I have that game, but I don't know what it is.
Overall, it seems like they make quality stuff. I heard that those Fossil Fighter games are, like, really not that bad.
They made... It looks like they didn't make all the Sakura Wars. Maybe they did. They made the Sakura Wars games.
What kind of thief goes around
on the PS3, they made the Record of Agris War games.
Yeah, you've got a good point.
You say you saw a man ringing a bell?
You saw the troll?
These two saw
That's pretty much it. They just make a bunch of random
Who the
stuff.
heck is the troll?
Men, quickly! We must bring them to Mistress Yudai. Yeah!
Now I'm gonna have to LP Spike
We
McFang.
haven't done anything.
That definitely would be one that I would be interested in seeing. I, like, played around with that game before. I never beat it, but I got, like, a certain distance in. I think I have the actual cartridge. Pretty sure. That's one I got from Based Steve many years ago.
I actually have that game boxed.
Based.
I
So,
have been told that you two have met the troll. Quite unlucky for you.
so this character's
However,
cool.
I cannot undo your bonds
Yeah, I
just
can't
yet.
remember this actually.
What's going on? Why can't you let us go?
The troll is, of course,
What does
not
Dororo
human.
mean
It is a monster,
in
and even
Japanese? Can you look that
speaks.
up?
He would have spoken to one of you. To which of you did he
Yeah, because
speak?
most names actually have a meaning in Japanese.
What did he say to you? I must know. What
It'll
he
probably be
said.
like thief, like literal, like little thief.
I didn't
Like
hear
as
You were literally right.
How about
It
you,
means
sir?
thief.
yeah.
Don't know.
And then Hyakimaru
That is
means little
impossible.
monster,
Oh
If you don't
God.
answer my question, I
which
cannot release
makes
your
sense. I
bonds.
mean, he was a little monster.
What is
Tell
what
me
is
the
the
truth.
what is the
There is
colon
nothing
part
to
after the
be gained
title
by
mean?
lying to me.
It's something something
Said I don't know.
thief.
Yucky.
I'm gonna guess that's just the author's name, but
You know what? That might be right.
I shall put
Why
you
would
in
the game be
well
called
with
after
my
the
own
non-main character,
arms.
though?
Dororo is pretty
Come
important.
on, Yaki.
So,
I'm gonna
yeah,
try to
I don't know
save you.
if everyone's paying
You
attention,
can tell
but
me.
we saw that creature ringing the bell,
Quiet.
and he refused to say anything about it, and then she's like, well, since you won't say anything, I'm going to put you in the well room.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's the author's name, and the reason why they did that is because this guy made Astro Boy, so like he is a very prolific Japanese
It's like putting
author.
Akira, what's his name? Toriyama. So yeah, she put us here knowing that this thing would come and eat us. Because I guess...
It's gonna eat us. We're gonna be demon food.
This just keeps getting better and better.
I guess every time, like, someone sees the troll and they, like, don't, like, come out right away, they're just fed to this monster. Pretty cool. This very cool-looking monster. Yeah, girl, seriously. Alright, so yeah, taking over a full health bar with that is pretty cool.
Yeah, especially if you can fight something that's massive that you just hit it just by accident, basically. Ooh, that timing or that trajectory.
Wow, I can't believe I counted.
This is a pretty. Well, I don't want to remember this. This is pretty cool.
It's like you don't fight it the whole way here.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those you get like near the end and then it's like, see ya! Or maybe you do fight it the whole way and then it just leaves. I guess.
Dude, that slash move. If the enemy's
Right?
big enough for it, that is so good.
Yeah, baby. My one annoyance with this game so far is a lot of bosses, you'll like fight them and like they'll have these like cutscenes. So like say like you get halfway done with the enemy and it like has a cutscene to show you stuff. Say you use your special attack right before it gets to that point, then it's like it's just a wasted special attack.
So powerful before. It might be a demon that stole one of my body parts. I cut it pretty deep. I need to go into the well to see if it's dead.
Hey, hang on just a second. Leave it to me. This is what I do best.
Thanks, Dororo. So that's cool. This is made by Astro Boy guy. I never read or know anything about Astro Boy except for it's like older. What it's from like the 60s or 70s.
That damn woman meant
And
to
it's
kill
very,
us.
very, very
It
well
might be from like
regarded.
the
She
50s.
Yeah.
never expected us to get out of this place alive.
So that would make sense even like 40, 50 years later why they would like put his name on it. It's like Mary Shelley's
friend.
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
when this game was made, he was definitely dead for at least a decade or maybe 15
But
years.
why is she so intent on killing anyone who saw the troll?
It's a good
Must
question.
be some sort of connection between Yudai and the troll. We should check the bamboo thicket that the troll mentioned.
I found some sort of tunnel, and there's blood leading to it.
Get back up here. That probably leads to where the demon lives.
I can feel a breeze. This passage probably leads somewhere outside. I'm gonna go check it out real quick.
Don't be stupid. Get back here, Dororo.
I love their like big brother and little sister kind of thing going on. Don't be stupid, literally. She's like and you get to play as a Dororo.
When I played this game the first time, it took me so many hours to figure out that that character is a girl.
I just kind of assumed.
I mean, they do like spell it out. Well, I won't give anything away.
Yeah, I forget a lot.
I remember the ending of this game. The ending is Kino.
I mean, everything about this game's Kino, so I would not expect anything else. And you know what? Like, it's surprising. Like, to be honest, you've probably never heard of this game before YouTube Land, right? And that's fine, honestly. Like, the only reason I heard of it is I picked it up in a game. It happened to be. Oh, damn it! Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, good. Oh, it only took like a little bit of damage.
I'm glad that they did the
nice thing.
yeah, like
But
like
yeah.
the Zelda approach.
it happened to be in a GameStop however many years ago. Like, that's the only reason that I know about it. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's because I know games so well or whatever.
At the time, were you working with the guy who, like to collect obscure PS2 games?
Yeah, that might have been it too, honestly, because, yeah, the guy that I knew, it might have been. I don't know if it was before or after. By the way, this is RNG, for what it's worth, because... Seriously. Because it looks... Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's different every time. Camera angle is not great on that one.
Man, I wish I could be a kid and double jump.
So just a little bit of... Yeah, she is, like, very not, you know, strong or whatever. Damn it. Yeah, when you get poisoned with this, it sucks. You go so slow. Okay.
That's just like Resident Evil. YouTube land, you should check out the Resident Evil remake LP I just did, because it was cool. And we complained about the exact thing.
Indubitably.
Although I was too base to ever get in danger, where you limp along slowly.
Yeah, when you get poisoned, you walk at like a crawl. Or, I guess you move at a snail's pace. That's a better way of putting it. So, at this point, you're going to be, like, separated from...
Gotta keep them separated.
Gotta keep them separated.
Someone's there! Get him!
Oh, that's funny. They even say him. I don't know if it's just me remembering, like... not remembering, but, like, have a part deep inside my brain that I'm like, oh, I remember that, you know? But, like... I just assumed because of the voice.
I don't know if they, like, reveal it later as, like, something important, but I don't think so.
I just assumed that it was a little girl. Alright, so we're gonna head to... At this point, we're pretty much separated for a while, and we each do, like, our own unique things, which is pretty cool. I don't know if the rest of the game necessarily does this, but it's a pretty reasonable reason. It's not like they just like, even Resident Evil 4, like, will separate the two characters for, like, some, like, pretty, like, whatever reasons.
I love playing as Ashley.
Yeah. Yeah, at least Doro can punch and kick.
Hey, Ashley can push. She can shove things.
Yay! So, yeah, we're heading up to the thicket. There's, I guess, my only, one of my only minor complaints so far for this, chapter is that there is a decent amount of, like, backtracking story-wise. And it's also should be known that when I finish this chapter, there will be 4 fiends left in this chapter. 3 of them I could find right now if I wanted to, and then 1 you can't do until, like, way later. Like, I'm talking, like, beat chapter 6. So I figure if they're not necessarily now, I'm just gonna wait.
I definitely know that I don't know if it's an umbrella or whatever it is, but that being a demon is definitely part of their culture. Like, even Kirby has an enemy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've seen that and that's probably the game I was thinking of. That is, I don't know.
By the way,
I'm gonna save just in case.
You do get a power-up that lets you run really fast, right?
Yes, and I'm gonna get that at the end of this chapter, actually. I forgot about it, and then when I got it, I was like, yes. I was like, because earlier when I was playing, I was like, you know, sometimes I think you run just a little bit slow. And I was like, well, it was one of those things where I was like, I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'll deal with it. It's not a big deal. But then, like, you get it, and I was like, oh, sweet. Speaking of that, don't forget about the hour mark. Maybe after this cutscene.
What did the troll mean by shiny? Guess I have to find something
know.
shiny in this bamboo thicket. Huh?
Hello, base troll. We'll be back in a second, folks.